and welcome to another episode of Rift News, the only video game show on the internet you still watch even though you don't play the game anymore, unless you are like me and you got hooked on TFT. I'm finally back from our honeymoon, so for those of you still asking, yes, I got married 2 weeks ago. I announced it a couple of times already, but people still keep asking me about it. Anyway, while we were gone, Riot decided to release or announce a lot of new things. So, let's get on it. Starting with the live client. If you log in right now, the project event is fully operational. This means that you can buy all the new project skins which we talked about last time. And if you have a strong stomach, you can do what I did. You can buy project orbs. At this point people know that I think that orbs are quite pointless. They are almost never worth it. Unless you want to have a wide variety of skins on champions you may or may not even play. In fact, I think season passes, or in League's case, event passes are a better alternative. And the project pass is especially good because you can get rewards even if you play nothing but TFT. This was my issue with the last event pass. I bought it, but because all of the missions were for Summoner's Rift, I got no rewards from it. This time around, Riot fixed this issue, and you are able to complete all the missions that grant you prestige points through TFT. On top of this, because TFT grants you project tokens for every game you play, I think the project pass is a really good deal overall. Now, if you remember some of our older episodes of Rift News, you may remember I didn't like the fact that Riot started turning everything gold. It didn't matter if it was a skin, ward or even an icon. During events, Riot dumped the golden versions of everything onto the token store. At first, it was kinda cool to have a golden version of the championship skins, then the Wearing Kingdom skins, then the winter skins, and then it got boring. So it was super cool to see that Riot changed things around. And instead of giving us another wave of even more golden chromas, they combined gold with black and sprinkled a little bit of rainbow hues on top of it. And the outcome are these cool variants of the original project skins. Apart from Yi. But that's pretty much it for the live servers, because we are patiently waiting for what PBE is about to release. Probably the biggest piece of news is that Pantheon's Rework was revealed. He has awesome new interactions which we already covered, and he took on the appearance of a Targonian veteran, a warrior of the Rakor tribe. When it comes to his lore, thankfully, instead of rewriting his entire story again, Riot decided to move Pantheon's story forward. They did this by recapping his old story in the first half of his bio, and then they sprinkled a little bit of Aatrox on the other half. Of course, we will cover his full story on this channel soon, but let me tell you right now that although the story is really good, Riot had the freedom to finally properly kill a character in the story. But once again, they did not do it, even though Pantheon was a vessel of power that could be replaced by a new one should the old one die. So I don't want to say that I am a little bit disappointed that Riot didn't kill the old Pantheon in the story, but I do think that there was a massive potential in it. With that said, the new story brought in an entirely new mind-blowing plot twist. But again, more on that next time. When it comes to his gameplay, Riot made sure Pantheon kept his old tools. They just updated them a little. And if you remember any of the past reworks, you know exactly what this means. Skill shots. Pantheon no longer has a point-and-click poke. You need to aim your Qs and you need to charge them like Pike. His W stayed exactly the same. His E now also blocks projectiles from the front. And his ultimate just looks cooler. His skins also got a massive rework, which isn't really a surprise if you remember the old versions. Myrmidon Pantheon is themed after magma soldiers which Zeus created to fight back humanity. Ruthless Pantheon, aka Diaper Pantheon, kept his diapers. Also, he now fits into the Road Warrior skin line. Perseus Pantheon now perfectly fits the Greek mythos. Full Metal Pantheon now looks like a killer robot. Dragon Slayer Pantheon is freaking amazing. Zombie Slayer didn't change a bit. Baker Pantheon is now blue instead of red. And Glaive Warrior still exists. But Pantheon skins aren't the only new thing in town. Because after millennia, Udyr got a skin that is not a joke. Dragon Oracle Udyr is a brand new skin that lets you swap between 4 different dragon forms. And none of them are animals, so it will be awkward calling them bear, tiger, turtle and phoenix. Nevertheless, this skin looks absolutely amazing, and I am glad Udyr was checked off the meme charts. The last new skin we got is Hextech Ramas, which just like the other Hextech skins will be available from crafting. An interesting thing to note, Riot likes to use the art to tease the next Hextech skin. In fact, we successfully predicted Hextech Malzahar on this channel, because one of his Voidlings appeared in Poppy's splash art. So if we have a look at Hextech Ramas, we can see Poppy on the right and 2 new characters on the left. Unfortunately, both of these characters lack any recognizable traits, so I doubt this would be Victor or anyone like that. The only hint here could be the symbols at the back. In fact, it looks very similar to Ionian architecture, so don't be surprised if Hextech Irelia or Karma is next. The last two skin related things are new chroma versions for the Honor 5 skins. The way you get them is the same as previous years. You hit Honor 5, you get an Honor 5 token and you exchange it for the skins or the chromas. You can choose. However, because Riot promised the players that they would be able to get both of the chromas this year, during 2019 only, players will get 2 tokens from the capsule. So you can get both skins, both chromas, or a skin and its chroma in one go. While these are all the things PBE offers for Summoner's Rift, we also got new things for Teamfight Tactics. First of all, because the beta pass was a success, Surrendered 20 datamined a new pass that should be launched next patch. We also got 6 new TFT icons, out of which the champion icon should be part of the pass, and we got 2 new TFT arenas. One themed after the Dragon Pit, and the other after Summoner's Rift. Next, Riot revealed brand new origin for TFT. Hextech. This trait will randomly disable enemy items. And knowing how powerful items are right now, Hextech units will be rather popular. Anyway, the new units are Camille, who's a Hextech Blade Master. She has the ability to root a single target and make all allies attack that target. Then we have Jace, which is a Hextech Shapeshifter. He simply knocks back his target and gains range. Then we have Vi, which is a Hextech Brawler. She kept her ultimate and it behaves the exact same way. And the last one is Jinx, who is a Hextech Gunslinger. After she kills 2 targets, she swaps to Fishbone for AoE attacks. And finally, Riot also revealed the one thing everyone's been waiting for. New little legends. We have Protector, which may or may not have been named after a meme. The Hushtail, which is a quite generic magical fox, that might as well have been a Pokemon. And then we got one that might be able to compete even with the mole himself. Peddlemar, a turtle so cool it expresses all stages of grief. Also, I like to think that it is based on the Ionian turtles. Just like the TFT pass, all these little legends and their colored variants should arrive on the live servers next patch. But that's finally it for PBE. So now, let's jump onto some of the more interesting Riot's posts. An interesting thing that caught my attention that other people walked by is that the Riot Games Career Twitter, which is an account that showcases opportunities at Riot Games, published a video where they are looking for people to help them with a new project. Specifically, they need a QA manager and a publishing producer. Now, normally QA can be anything from selling new merch to cleaning popcorn after LCS games. But here Riot stated that the publishing producer will be in touch with the developers, and they would focus on publishing their products. And publishing happens after something is complete and fleshed out. I may be crazy, but this might be another hint that a new game by Riot Games is actually on its way. It is another reason to believe that Riot will announce a new game during their 10-year anniversary. Next, we need to have a look at a post that talks about game modes. At this point, there is no surprise that Riot is looking for new long-term game modes. Something you would willingly want to play over and over and over again. Rotating game modes are fine, but if you consider all the development that goes into it, maybe it's not a smart investment if it stays up only for 1 week. So here is Riot's stance on today's game modes. Obviously, Teamfight Tactics was a massive success, and I am still confused why Riot treats it as a game mode. In my eyes, it is a separate game, so saying that they will make TFT a permanent game mode is like saying that Anthem will not be taken away. Oh. So let's skip TFT and let's have a look at the rest. All Random Earth used to be massively popular when it first released. Since picking was random, you couldn't complain about playing against OP champions. Well, you could, but it came down to RNG. So finally, we could see Hecarim again. Overall, the numbers show that people really enjoy Earth as a game mode that comes and goes. And it became the perfect example for how short-term game modes should be released. So all Random Earth will definitely be returning at least one more time this year. But then we have Nexus Blitz. Nexus Blitz was Riot's first attempt at a new permanent game mode. Initially, the stats showed that people were blown away by the game mode. But at the same time, the excitement rapidly disappeared, and soon everyone returned back to Summoner's Rift. This means that even though Nexus Blitz will not be a permanent game mode, it will make an excellent rotating game mode. Then we have ARAM. Funnily enough, ARAM was put into the game as a fan service. Very long time ago, before any fancy game modes or fancy new twisted tree lines. People played ARAM in custom games. They launched a game of Summoner's Rift, they all ran mid, and they just agreed that they would not back or leave the lane. So it is amazing to see that not only did Riot make this a game mode, but it managed to stay permanent due to its popularity. Recently, Riot decided to give ARAM its own patches for balancing, and it worked out pretty well. Right now, ARAM is balanced really well, and so it's no surprise that it stays as a permanent game mode. And finally, we have Twisted Treeline. Unfortunately, in Riot's eyes, the map design, art and even game pace don't meet today's quality standards. And so, just like it was with Dominion, because people play the game mode less and less, Riot will remove Twisted Treeline at the end of the season. The saddest thing about this is that I started playing Twisted Treeline this season, and I really liked it. Unlike in Summoner's Rift, Twisted Treeline has less players, so you are more likely to take the game into your own hands. I like the game mode so much I even played 3 placement games. But obviously my efforts to keep the game mode alive were in vain, and it will disappear later this year. And now let's finish this video with Ask Riot. What's the most popular skin or skin line? A very interesting question answered by none other than Carlos. Here we learn that there are many ways to measure popularity. Total purchase, total use time, fan art created, most uses by mains, and the list goes on. So to really get a good idea of a skin's popularity, they need to average all of those metrics. And so here are the results. The 3 most popular skins of all time are Elementalist Lux, Star Guardian Jinx and Project Vayne. But so far in 2019 alone, Dark Cosmic Jhin is number 1, and a really surprising runner-up is Corgi. As for the entire skin lines, the top 3 are KDA, Project and Star Guardian. Nowadays every skin and splash art is much nicer than they were in the past. What changed? New software, techniques? Here we got a very long answer by Mechahawk, so let me sum it up. For skins, the improvement comes from 2 fields: better technology and maturing team. We know that over the years Riot created their own tools to make skins faster and easier. We covered this a long time ago on this channel too. This means that Riot stopped using third-party software which had features they didn't even need. One of the biggest examples is their visual effects software. They used to use a text editor version, which means that they had to write the code line by line. But a few years ago they turned it into a standalone software which makes particle effects with a few simple clicks. For splash art, it really comes down to their philosophy. Instead of just showcasing what the skin looks like, they want to realistically show the skin in its own rich fantasy. In a way, they want to give the skin context, and sometimes they even delve into storytelling in one picture. And the last question, who would win in a fight, Feather Knight or Poro? A little bit biased question, I would prefer a mole or a turtle, but sure. This one was answered by Riot Stepiroth. The pros of Poros are, they travel in flufts, so they have the number combat advantage. They can conceal weapons in their fur, and they are small and hard to hit. The cons of Poros are, they don't have hands or thumbs. Also, they are small but they are not very fast. And they are easily distracted by Poro snacks. The pros of Feather Knights are, they are fully trained in swordsmanship, even though they don't have thumbs, so they can't hold swords. They have armor, and they dab. The cons of Feather Knights are, they dab. So, in the end, we learned nothing. But of course we know that the first creature to grab a weapon with a thumb would win any battle. Hey, did you know that we have social media and Twitch where we talk about other League facts and stories? And did you know that we have neat mugs and shirts too? The links to all of that will be below. And as always, thank you, come again.